we will do this is we will start this meeting, call to order, and we will vote on one item. You don't need to leave us or come back. Our staff will handle this seamlessly, thankfully. So with that, I am going to call the special meeting of August 22nd of Monterey County LAFCO to order. And if we could have a roll call, please, Safarina.
Indeed. Thank you. Commissioner Alejo.
Present.
Commissioner Ruth Askew.
Hello, I'm here.
Thank you. Commissioner Craig.
Here.
Commissioner Kong. Commissioner Lopez.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Oglesby. Commissioner Poitras.
Here.
Commissioner Snodgrass.
Here.
Commissioner Velasquez.
Here.
Vice Chair Gorley.
Here.
And Chair Leffel.
Here, thank you so much.
We have a quorum.
If we could start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I apologize, I'm in a wheelchair, so I'm not going to stand, but Luis, would you please lead us?
Yes, ma'am. If we could all place our hand over our heart and for our nation's pledge, I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States
of
America,
and to the republic
for which it stands,
stands
one nation
nation
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible.
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Okay. This item is on AB 361. Is there any member of the public that would like to address any item that is not on this agenda for this special meeting? If so, this is your time. You have 2 minutes.
Yes, Madam Chairman.
Is that?
My name is Paul Rodriguez.
Hi, Paul.
Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul C. Rodriguez. I'm an Army veteran and a resident of Monterey County. I come to you today to thank you for all the wonderful education that you have done in Greenfield, working with the Greenfield Memorial District. I am glad to report that they are having regular meetings and they are notifying the public in a proper fashion. Thank you very much. Because you've done such a wonderful job of educating, I'm here today to put you on notice that we are having some problems with the public notification for the Greenfield Parks and Recreation District and the Greenfield Cemetery District. I have been trying to attend those district meetings for several months. However, the website, it states the second Tuesday of the month at 6 o'clock. So I did do some research and got a hold of one of the board of directors, Raul Rodriguez, to let him know that the public notice needs to be at least 3 business working days prior to the meeting. I discussed with him the website information was incorrect. I asked him where the public can find the public notices. He stated at Trinity Cemetery. So I have been monitoring the bulletin, stopping by several times during the week to see if there's any new postings. So I went down and took a picture of the bulletin board as of Saturday the 20th at 7:30 p.m. The agenda posted was for July 18th. When I stopped again on Sunday the 21st around 2 p.m., there was a new posting for a meeting dated Monday the 22nd at 6 p.m. As you can see, this is a problem, making it difficult for the public to attend and review the actions of these 2 special districts. These 2 special districts are being run by the same 5 individuals. So as you can see, the importance of making sure that the public gets the proper public notification, because if the Parks Recreation fails to notify the public, then also the cemetery has failed to notify as well. This situation is unacceptable. So at this time, I'm requesting that LAFCO should look into these 2 special districts, offer to educate and train them to be in compliance with the Brown Act. I look forward to your education and working with you in the future. Thank you very much for allowing me this time to express the situation. And hopefully with your education, we, the public, will be able to attend and be aware of these meetings. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Paul. And I know that staff has been working with everyone and will continue. And you're under public comments, so we will not discuss this today, but we are aware of it. Thank you, though. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Any other public comment that is not on our agenda, or if you can save it for the regular meeting, that will be in about 5 minutes. All right. We've got item under special business, which is to approve finding pursuant to AB 361 in order for the commission to continue to meet remotely. COVID-19 pandemic state of emergency declared by Governor Newsom is still in effect.
Move approval.
That the
Second, Craig.
commission has reconsidered the circumstances. So I have a motion by Poitras and a second by Craig.
It was Alejo motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, Alejo. And Craig?
Yep.
All right. Under discussion, would anyone like to talk about the fact that we might want to take this and have hybrid meetings going forward so that those of us who would like to attend in person can?
Marianne, it's Steve Snodgrass. I kind of think that we should have hybrid meetings, especially in light of the fact in our regular meeting on the agenda, we're going to send all the LAFCO commissioners to the Cal LAFCO meeting, and they're going to go in person rather than Zoom. So it feels disingenuous to not get together.
Okay. Supervisor Lopez?
I was just going to say that I think the option to attend in person is appropriate at this time. And I think there's some different skills that are needed in terms of the technology in order to do so, but I don't think that that should be a major challenge for us as an organization. So I agree that it's a good time to go back to a hybrid for those folks who may have either an exposure or additional concerns who can't attend, that they may continue to participate via Zoom, but for those who are ready to go back in person, that become an option as well. I'd be supportive of that for our next meeting, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Poitras?
Yeah, I just want to second what Commissioner Lopez said. I agree completely that we should open these back up in a hybrid fashion. I personally lament the fact that some of you, even though I've met you on this Zoom gadget for almost 2 years now, I haven't actually physically met you, and I'd like to do that. So I would certainly support going to hybrid. Thank you.
Okay, so we cannot take action on it, but I think staff maybe gets the idea that we would like to see hybrid in the future. So I'll work with Kate and we'll make that happen. So we have an item, we have first and a second. Do I have any other comments from my fellow commissioners on this item? If not, could we have a roll call?
Yes, Chair.
I'm sorry.
Comments from the public?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks, Louise. Would anyone from the public like to comment on this item? All right. And while we were discussing this, Mayor Oglesby and Commissioner Kong both joined us. Okay, roll call, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Alejo?
Aye.
Commissioner Craig?
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez?
Aye.
Commissioner Oglesby?
Aye.
Commissioner Poitras?
Yes.
Vice Chair Gorley?
Aye.
And Chair Leffel?
Yes, thank you. All right, so at this time, we will adjourn this meeting and we will go to our regularly scheduled August 22nd meeting. So no one has to log off or do anything. We'll just move to the next one. Okay. I'm going to call the regular meeting of August 22nd, 2022, Monterey County LAFCO to order. If we could have a roll call, please, Safarina.
Indeed. Commissioner Alejo.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Root Askew.
I am here. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Craig.
Aye.
Commissioner Kong.
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez.
Present.
Commissioner Oglesby.
Present.
Commissioner Poitras.
Here.
Commissioner Snodgrass.
Here,
Commissioner Velasquez.
Here.
Vice Chair Gorley.
Here.
And Chair Leffel.
Here, thank you. We did the Pledge of Allegiance on our prior meeting about 10 minutes ago, so we will dispense with that at this time, this meeting. I will open it up to general public comments for any item that is not on this agenda. This is your time to speak. And if you can raise your hand, and Jonathan will help me see you.
Over here, Jonathan.
Yep, we have a hand raised by Mr. Bloom.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I too would like to follow on to what Paul Rodriguez said earlier and thank LAFCO for all the assistance they gave us down here with the Greenfield Memorial District, especially Chris and his efforts, and Jonathan, you too, for coming down and taking the time. Things seem to be going along very well. I'm currently acting as the clerk, and we are meeting regularly and running very smoothly, and the hall is starting once again to be a very useful part of the community. But I come to you tonight more for the standpoint of a Greenfield Lions Club member. The Lions Clubs has been here since 1948, and we have been using the building over on Cherry Avenue for most of that period of time. It is a building that falls under the control of the Parks and Recreation, and recently the Parks and Recreation deemed the building unsuitable for use, not only for rentals, but for our own meetings. Due to the fact, as Paul Rodriguez pointed out, it's been very difficult to meet with Parks and Recreation to nail them down. We're somewhat in limbo. We need to be able to meet regularly. We need to be able to have our own venue. It's a very useful facility for the people of Greenfield. It's a smaller building and it fits the needs of many people who are less expensive events and who want to be able to have small, intimate meetings. We're asking for LAFCO's assistance in this to try to perform the same sort of educational process with Parks and Recreation so that they'll be more responsive to us. Let us know their long-term plan for the building and how soon we may look forward to getting back and making use of this building. And I appreciate any help that you as members can give us. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul C. Rodriguez. I'm an Army veteran and resident of Monterey County. I come to you today to thank you for all the wonderful education that you've done in Greenfield, working with the Greenfield Veterans Memorial District. I'm glad to report that they are having regular meetings and they are notifying the public in the proper fashion. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because you've done such a wonderful job of educating, I am here today to put you on notice that we are having some problems with the public notification for the Greenfield Parks and Recreation District and the Greenfield Cemetery District. I have been trying to attend those district meetings for several months. However, the website states that the second Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. So I did do some research and I've gotten a hold of one of the board of directors, Raul Rodriguez, to let him know that the public notice needs to be at least 3 working days prior to the meeting. I discussed with him the website information was incorrect. And I asked him where the public can find the public notices. He stated at Trinity Cemetery. So I've been monitoring the bulletin board, stopping by several times during the week to see if there's any new postings. So I went down and took pictures of the bulletin board as of on Saturday, the 20th at 7:30 p.m. The agenda posted was for the July 18th meeting. When I stopped again on Sunday, on the 21st, around 2 p.m., there was a new posting for a meeting dated Monday, 22 for 6 p.m. As you can see, this is a problem, making it difficult for the public to attend and review actions of these 2 special districts. Also, these 2 special districts are being run by the same 5 individuals. So as you can see, the importance of making sure that the public gets proper public notification because of the parks and recreation. And if they fail to notify the public, then also the cemetery has failed to notify the public. This situation is unacceptable. So at this time, I'm requesting that LAFCO should come and look into these 2 special districts, offer to educate and train them to be in compliance with the Brown Act. I look forward to your education and working with you in the future. Thank you very much for allowing me this time to express the situation, and hopefully with your education, we will have the public be aware of these meetings. Thank you, and thank you very much once again.
Thank you both very much. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on an item that is not on the agenda? I don't see any other hands. I will close public comment and we will move to the consent agenda. Is there anyone from the public that would like to pull an item off of the consent agenda?
Hi, I need to get my eyes checked to know if I am using the right magnifiers. I've been getting minor migraines and
Margie,
bad headaches.
Maybe we could
Your mic is
mute
on.
anyone who's not speaking.
I think
Are you able to
Margie
do that?
has her mic on in another conversation.
Yeah, is anyone
I
on
would be
staff?
paying for it. I have no insurance for it. I'm on Medicare and I just pay for my.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone that would, from the public, that would like to speak on an item that is on the consent agenda or pull one? All right. Anyone from the commission who would like to pull an item or speak on an item?
Lopez moves consent, Madam Chair.
Oglesby second.
All right. I would like to pull item number 4.
So I'll amend my motion to move consent minus less item 4. Thank you.
Oglesby second.
Okay. Do we have any other discussion on the items? All right. Roll call, Safarina.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Alejo,
Aye.
Commissioner Craig,
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez,
Aye.
Commissioner Oglesby,
Aye.
Commissioner Poitras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gorley,
Yes.
and Chair Leffel.
Yes,
Okay. Items 1, 2, 3, and 5.
thank you. So on item number 4, I went over what the staff and our council did. And a couple of questions I had. There's no reference, well, there is reference to we will meet in the supervisors' chambers at 4 o'clock on the 4th Monday. There's no provision in there at all for any type of AB 361 issue. And there were a couple other things. So I'd like to do is pull this and maybe work with staff. Maybe we can bring it back to Budget and Finance Committee, just take a look at it and see if there are other items that maybe should be addressed while we're cleaning this up so we don't have to keep bringing it back.
Is that a motion, Madam Chair?
No, I'm
Are you looking for a
throwing it out
response?
there. I see things that look to me like maybe they could be addressed.
Through the
Well,
chair.
if you're looking for a motion to do that, I'll make the motion.
All right,
And I'm happy to second it.
all right. First and second. Supervisor SQ, do you have something?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, so you mentioned the meeting location, and I think that's going to continue to be an unknown while we wait for state legislation to sort its way through. Were there other items that you were that you thought needed to be clarified or cleaned up?
Yeah, there are several. actually, that when I went through there, I saw several things that I'm thinking, we're not really doing them this way right now because of AB 361. So to have them called out in our bylaws to be so specific kind of gives me heartburn. For instance, it says you don't need to call roll call, and we have to call it when we're in a Zoom meeting. So just things like that. I think that we have to do this. So I have a motion and a second. Could I have a roll call?
Okay. Commissioner Leho,
Aye.
Commissioner Craig,
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez,
Aye.
Commissioner Oglesby,
Aye.
Commissioner Poitras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gorley,
Yes.
and Chair Leffel.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we have new business items. Consider business items for the 2022 annual conference of Cal LAFCO Commission. Kate, are you taking this one?
Yes, thank you. This item will be presented by our senior analyst, Jonathan Brinkman.
Good afternoon, Chair Leffel and Commissioners. So today's item on the Cal LAFCO 2022 annual conference, we have 5 items to run through on this report. The first is staff is recommending that the commission authorize attendance of the annual Cal LAFCO Commission by up to 2 staff, 1 general counsel, and all 7 of the commissioners who expressed an interest in attending the conference, which will be in Newport Beach on October 19th through October 21st. A second recommended action on this report is to designate the regular and alternate voting delegates to represent LAFCO at this annual conference. And as termed in being specific about the recommendation, typically the commission will designate the chair and an alternate delegate in the case of there needs to be an alternate to the chair. So that's the staff recommendation. And then the third item for this report is nominations to the Cal LAFCO Board of Directors. So our region that we are within in the Cal LAFCO organization is the coastal region. Commissioner Supervisor Chris Lopez has been representing the county seat for our region for the last 2 years and has expressed an interest in being nominated and running again this year for the election that is up. So staff's recommendation is that the commission nominate Supervisor Commissioner Lopez to represent our Cal LAFCO coastal region on the Cal LAFCO Board of Directors. And so that's the recommendation for number 3. And then numbers 4 and 5 are information items. 4 is regarding the Cal LAFCO 2022 Achievement Award nominations. Staff reviewed the Achievement Award nomination criteria, and there are 8 different awards that are available each year. We did not identify an Achievement Award nomination this year for our LAFCO. And then on the 5th item was Cal LAFCO activities. There is an attached quarterly newsletter from Cal LAFCO on this report. And some items reported on that are that there has been completion of legislation on protest provisions and also on the omnibus for this year, which is non-controversial changes to the Cortese-Knox Act.
All right. Kelly, this is a question for you. Can we vote on all of these as a block? Do we need to take them separate?
As long as the motion's clear, you can vote on all of them at once.
Okay. We don't want to wear SAP Arena out. So the first item is that we need to authorize attendance of up to 2 staff, 1 general counsel, and all 7 commissioners who have expressed an interest. So I guess if I could have a motion and a second on that. And first of all, open up for public comment on that item. Is there anyone that would like to comment?
Chair LaFleur, I do not see any hands raised yet.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. So could I have a motion, and we'll vote on all of these at one time? But could I have
Lopez
a
moves
motion
item 1.
on item 1?
Lopez moves item 1.
Thank you,
I'll second that. Poitras.
Poitras. Okay. The second item is to designate a regular and alternate delegate to represent LAFCO Monterey County at the conference. So I am in agreement to be one of the regular, I guess, delegate. Chris, do you want to do this since you are going to be there anyway as our state delegate?
Happy to be your backup, Madam Chair.
All right.
All right, then I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
Oglesby second.
Thank you. And then the third is to nominate Supervisor Commissioner Chris Lopez for the LAFCO Board County Representative seat.
So moved. Poitras.
Oglesby second.
Thank you. All right. So we have 3 items on here. We have the authorization for the attendance. We have the regular and alternate delegates, and we have a representative from our county to be a representative to the statewide county seat. So we have 3 motions. I'll take it as a total. Can I have a roll call, please? Do we have any comments on that? Okay.
Madam Chair, I have my hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, I just have a comment on number 3. I'm in agreement, but was there any other interest in the nomination for item 3? Did any of the other commissioners express any interest? No?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm sorry I didn't see your hands. I'll look a little better.
It's okay.
Okay, so can we have a roll call, please, Safarina?
Yes, Chair. Commissioner Alejo,
Aye.
Commissioner Craig,
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez,
Aye.
Commissioner Oglesby,
Aye.
Commissioner Poitras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gorley,
Yes.
and Chair Leffel.
Yes, thank you. Okay. So our next item is our public hearing. And what we are going to do is open this and we'll receive the executive officer's report on it. And then we'll open it up for public comment. So this is a public hearing to consider a proposal from the Marina Coast Water District for a sphere of influence amendment and district annexation totaling approximately 96 acres in the city of Seaside's portion of the Ord community. So Ms. McKenna.
Thank you, Chair Leffel, members of the commission. Jonathan will be presenting this report today.
Okay, Chair Leffel and Commissioners, I have a brief PowerPoint presentation. This is item 7 on our commission agenda. It is the Marina Coast Water District proposed sphere amendment and annexation of Campus Town and Parker Flats Apartments projects. And just a brief background, this proposal is approximately 96 acres. The map on this slide shows the yellow area is the proposal area. The Campus Town projects south of Lightfighter Drive, if you're familiar with the roads in Seaside, just off of Highway 1, and then also south of Colonel Durham Road, further to the east. And then south of that yellow area is a small 5-acre parcel known as Parker Flats Apartments project, also shown on the map. This area, just as background, was excluded from MCWD's 2019 sphere amendment and annexation because neither project had development entitlements at that time. And that was part of the settlement agreement between Marina Coast Water District, Keep Forward Wild, and Landwatch Monterey County. That only projects that were currently being served by Marina Coast Water District or had been entitled to for development were included in that annexation in 2019. Further notes are that City of Seaside supports the proposal, and that just when LAFCO received this application, it received it in June 3rd of this year, and it was deemed complete on July 1st. So we've been moving this ahead expeditiously since receiving the proposal. Just to summarize what's in the packet for this item, we have the executive officer's report. Attachments to the report include a recommended resolution for approval. And attachment number 2 is the environmental clearance documents. There's links to the Campus Town Environmental Impact Report, which was certified by the City of Seaside in 2020. And the Parker Flats Apartments categorical exemption report, which was also the city made findings in May of 2022. So just a little description on each of these projects. The Campus Town project, this photo is a Google shot just from Colonel Durham Street, and that's the Department of Defense Center in the background of the photo. This project would permit the construction of 1,485 housing units, 250 hotel rooms, 150,000 square feet of retail, 50,000 square feet of office or light industrial, and 12 acres of parks and open space. And on the Parker Flats Apartments project site, this is a view from Parker Flats Cutoff Road. This project would permit the conversion of existing abandoned military medical barracks into residential apartments with 42 dwelling units. So it's an existing structure that's being rehabilitated. And then just to go over staff's analysis. So part of the application, MCWD provided evidence that both of these projects have received a final land use approval, which is a term in the settlement agreement with MCWD, Keep Forward Wild, and Landwatch of Monterey County. That means that the limitation period for a challenge has run, and that both Landwatch and Keep Forward Wild have agreed in the settlement agreement not to oppose annexations to MCWD of areas that have received this final land use approval status. So we have evidence in this application that both projects have met that. And then just to note also in the analysis, there is a boundary overlap with Monterey Peninsula Water Management District. The Water Management District does not provide retail potable water or wastewater services. They do not have infrastructure to deliver these services to this proposal area. So staff's conclusion, there's no duplication of service provision between the Water Management District and Marina Coast Water District. And this is just a map to show that overlap. So the blue is the Monterey Peninsula Water Management District's boundary. The dark green is the Marina Coast Water District boundary. And then there's this lighter green, that's the sphere of influence for Marina Coast Water District. And then the dotted area is the future study area, which are areas such as Campus Town and Parker Flats Apartments that as they're studied and they could be considered to be included in Marina Coast Water District boundaries. Okay, so for other considerations today, staff has sent out public agency referrals once the application was received. There have been no comments as of this current time on the CEQA Environmental Quality Act. Just to note that the Campus Town final EIR project was challenged in court, and what it was by the Committee for Sound Water and Land Use. The Monterey County Superior Court dismissed the lawsuit. It was appealed to the Court of Appeals. They upheld the lower court's dismissal. So there's no ongoing CEQA litigation for the Campus Town project. And then just noting that in our notices that LAFCO provided per our section, Government Code Section 56663, we included our intent to waive the protest proceedings if there are no comments received today at the time of the hearing. So far, there have been no comments from the property owners or voters within the proposal area, which would allow us to waive the protest proceeding. So here are the list of recommendations on this item. We're currently on item 1, receive the executive officer's report. And the next would be to open the public hearing and receive any public comments and provide for questions or follow-up discussion by the commission, and then close of the public hearing and motion to adopt the resolution or take other action. Staff's available if you have any questions. Thank you.
All right. I'd like to give the Marina Coast Water District an opportunity to speak to this if they would like to. Is there anyone that would like to speak to that?
Sure, Chair.
The district?
I'd be happy to. So good afternoon, Commission. My name is Rem Scherzinger. I'm the General Manager of Marina Coast Water District. We appreciate your staff and their fine work as we move this project forward on behalf of Seaside. The partnership between Seaside and ourselves has been, I think, has gone very well, and we look forward to providing service to their developments. There is sufficient water within the package, and the district has completed its infrastructure agreement with the cities to begin phase 1 of this project. Thank you. I'll take any questions if the commission has them.
All right. Would anyone like to speak to this from the city of Seaside?
Thank you so much, Chair. Excuse me. Of course, Seaside is in support of this issue right here. It's very important to us, but it's been a long time coming and many of years of work behind this issue before us today. Tens of millions of dollars spent through different agencies, not just the city of Seaside, but Marina Coast Water and different agencies. So I would ask for commissioner support on this issue. Thank you so much.
All right. I'll open it up to the public for public comment. You can raise your hand. All right. Jonathan, do we see anyone?
I see no hands raised.
All right, we'll close public comment, bring it back to the commission. Commissioners' comments. You're quite a group today. Okay, I'm going to close commissioners' comments. I will say that watching this for a long time, I think it's extremely good for our community that there was a way to work this out so that Seaside could develop some of the land that it got, and that it can provide housing that we all desperately need on the peninsula. So Rem, to you and your staff, and to Mayor Oglesby and your staff for slugging through this, thank you. So I'm going to consider an adoption of the resolution. If I could have a motion.
Oglesby moves approval.
Vallejo, second.
Okay. We'll ask for a roll call.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Alejo?
Aye.
Commissioner Craig?
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez?
Aye.
Commissioner Oglesby?
Aye.
Commissioner Poitras?
Yes.
Vice Chair Gorley?
Aye.
And Chair Leffel?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you all get to work.
Woo!
Okay, we're going to go to the executive officers communications next. Ms. McKenna.
Great. Chair Leffel, we do have a number 8 on our agenda.
Oh, sorry.
Number 8, Chair, is a report from Jonathan on an update to LAFCO's schedule of fees and deposits.
Okay. Jonathan, I would like to request that we take that back and give it to the Budget and Finance Committee to look at, since it didn't come forward prior to adoption of the budget. And since we haven't had any updates on finances, I'd really like to look at that and make sure that we're not missing anything before we do it, since it would be kind of crazy to bring it back 2 or 3 times in a row.
Okay, with that, I think staff can take direction on that. And we'll refer to the Budget and Finance Committee.
Do I have any other comments from any of my fellow commissioners?
If it needed a motion to back that up, I would do that, but I don't think it's necessary, so.
We have a hand up from Commissioner Velasquez.
Hi, Chair. I just have a question in terms of procedural for this. What is the process? What is the process that has been done in the past for updating the fees and deposits? So does it typically go back to the Finance Committee and then it comes to the board? I just want to know what is the past practice for this?
Madam Chair, I could answer that for staff if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay, the commission's practice, at least over the past 15 years, is that the schedule of fees and deposits goes directly to the commission. That has been the practice, and this type of proposal has not gone to the Budget and Finance Committee. However, the commission may provide that direction today to continue this matter, continue this public hearing. We do have a Budget and Finance Committee meeting in November. And so that would mean that this item would be continued to the December meeting, unless the committee chose to schedule a special meeting, say in the next month.
And to speak to this, what happened when we came out of the last Budget Finance Committee meeting, Commissioner Velasquez, I asked a question of how do we have enough when we take a deposit when we're starting to look at a new project to cover the fees? Do we need to look at that? So that's how this started. So I would just like an opportunity to kind of look at it through a little bit better of a lens before we vote on it and then find we need to do something else.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. If I can, thank you for that. If I can just make another comment in terms of, I know Kate talked about a special meeting, so timeliness, if this is not a timely matter, then to be able to go back and bring it back. But if it's a timely kind of matter, does a special meeting need to happen for that? Just so we know it's on timeliness that we meet those deadlines.
I am recommending that we have a Budget Finance Committee within the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, no problem.
So we can bring it back to the September meeting.
Do we need a motion for that?
Well, we don't need a motion for that. We do have a motion on the table. I need a second if we're gonna pull this item.
All right, then I'll second it.
No, I think you made Pete, I think you made the
Oh,
motion.
did I? Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'll second it. Sorry, Pete, you can't have them both.
Okay.
Sorry to interject, but just to be clear, are we continuing this to the September meeting? Because we need to pick a date certain.
Yes. So we would pull it and bring it back at the September meeting. And in the interim, we'll have a budget finance committee meeting to talk about this and also to look at the finances that we haven't seen for a few months.
Are you on the question, Chair?
I am.
Through you, I would just suggest that we also look at making this a normal practice of sending it through the Finance Committee. So we won't have this question next year. It's routine that it goes straight to the commission, but I think you made a good point about the commission is adopting a document, meeting the fees and schedules, so to speak, right? Without any input from the Finance Commission or the committee. So that may not be a good practice, even though we've done it this way for the last 15 years. If we're going to change it now, it may be a good change. So my point is I would ask the commission to think about allowing the Finance Committee to come back with a recommendation about should this be a permanent change or just one time.
All right, so we have a first and a second. Do we have any other comments on this? Open it up to the public.
Chair Leffel, no hands are raised.
All right, thank you. If we could have a roll call, please, Safarina.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, Commissioner Alejo,
Aye.
Commissioner Craig,
Aye.
Commissioner Lopez,
Aye.
Commissioner Oglesby,
Aye.
Commissioner Poitras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gorley,
Yes.
and Chair Leffel.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now the executive director's report.
Yes, thank you very much. We are reporting under agenda item 9, some informational updates for your to keep you informed about your staff's activities, and those pertain to a recent civil grand jury report that we provided comments on, an update on the Pajaro Valley Healthcare District, a new contract with for economic analysis services. We've also provided to you a very recent comment letter provided to the city of Soledad regarding an application that is on file with LAFCO. We update you on our staff's participation in a Monterey County Agricultural Conservation Mitigation Program, and let you know that all of your staff has received some emergency training this past June and July. So if you have any questions, I'm certainly available. Otherwise, the details are contained in the staff report that is marked as agenda item number 9. Thank you.
Open it up for public comment on any of those items in the report. Do you have any?
Chair
Okay.
Leffel, there are no hands raised.
Thank you, Jonathan. And now open up for commissioners. Comments on Kate's executive director report. Kate, can you just maybe talk about some of the items and what you see time-wise on the Soledad? I think you told me there were 60 items that were in the letter.
Not quite, Madam Chair. We've got, I think the letter, including all of the various attachments, was about 60 pages.
Oh,
So
60 pages.
thankfully, we don't have 60 items. And yes, the application that we originally received 2 years ago remains in an incomplete status. And the key areas in which we are still requesting information to allow for a completeness determination pertain to the plan for providing services, the timing of annexation and development. We have questions about infrastructure services and the financial feasibility of the proposed development. We also have questions about the proposed agricultural mitigation plan, conformance with LAFCO's job and housing policy. We have questions. We're requesting a response to some comments from the local school district. Questions about California Environmental Quality Act clearance and traffic circulation, hillside open space, the realignment and widening proposed for San Vicente Road, and a few minor clarifications and corrections. In addition, the letter, which is 6 pages, requests information about other items that are not completeness matters, but that are relevant to LAFCO staff's evaluation. And those key significant concerns relate to the proposal's financial feasibility, particularly with respect to quantifying and financing the costs of public infrastructure, and then additional concerns about the proposed agricultural mitigation plan. Our intention moving forward that we have offered to the city staff is to meet with them in the next few weeks to do all of our very best to move forward to address the concerns to the extent that the city is able to. And then we would be able to issue a completeness notice and proceed to a public hearing. Attachments to the letter contain comments that were received in this summer from several agencies and groups. The comments were directed to LAFCO as part of our application referral process. And those comments were received from the Agricultural Land Trust, the County of Monterey Ag Commissioner's Office. We received comments on behalf of Landwatch Monterey County and a comment letter from the Salinas Valley Basin Groundwater Sustainability Agency. In addition, LAFCO's economic consultant, Berkson Associates, provided a review of primarily of the infrastructure components of this proposal, and his memorandum containing his comments are attached. So that's the summary of this item. And we have a full copy of that on the homepage of LAFCO's website, if anyone would like it, or we can just email anyone, a member of the public or any of our commissioners, a PDF version of that information. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for highlighting it. I think because it's been kind of lagging for so long, I wanted everyone to be aware of the updates, and we're all busy. Going to a website might not be what any of us do, but that way we've got it on record. So thank you. Supervisor Lopez?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted to share, I've had some outreach directly from the city on this particular matter, and I will be requesting a meeting from my end, just based on some of the concerns. I know most of those they feel are reasonable and can be quickly turned around, but there are a couple of those that they feel maybe we gave some direction from the dais the last time that items were heard, and that perhaps need to be brought back in a way where this commission can make some of those calls in terms of process. So just wanted to highlight those as something that obviously this letter is a big deal, and we're looking at creating housing in a time where the need is so high. And so really wanting to make sure that we're moving the project as quickly as possible to make sure that the community's needs are met is a priority. And so just wanted to highlight that for staff and let them know that I'll be reaching out here the next couple of days to hopefully help move things along to a point where we can get those items necessary before this full commission. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Supervisor Lopez. Mayor Velazquez.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chair, and thank you Supervisor Lopez for those comments as well. And thank you so much for staff for working on this. I know it's been obviously some time that the city has this has been working on this for some time now. And I think for me, it's obviously, I just want to appreciate all of the comments from staff and making sure that we get this project right. As we have noticed for most of our South County cities, we are the ones that are doing the construction of housing. But this is huge for the city of Soledad, and making sure that as we move forward, we're really thinking about that affordable housing that is part of what we're battling with. And now it's not only, now it's applicable also to not just our low income families, but also our working families. So workforce housing is really critical. And I think for me, it's taking a look at some of those zoning, the criteria that we currently have, and also looking at development of affordable housing. That's also a requirement, and that's being done concurrently when we're looking at these housing projects. And I think that's very imperative. I've seen many of my community members have to leave Soledad because we can't find affordable housing. And many that have been there for many, many years, and like myself, have raised children there. And it's just, it's really difficult to be able to see that many of our own families can't afford the housing that we're building. So within the single family footprint, I think it's also important to be looking at other types of housing and a different mixed use of housing that is needed within these construction projects. And although I echo the sentiment that we need housing, we need the right type of housing to be able to be developed in these phases of this massive project. And as well as whether we do it all as one approval, or do we need to pause for a minute and start looking at phasing the project? So we are making sure that we're producing the right house, the right type of housing that our community needs. So I really appreciate all the work from staff. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Supervisor Alejo.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I've been following this closely because certainly with the crisis that we have in California, the right kind of housing is all types of housing. We need market rate housing, and we certainly need housing for the very low, the moderate, and the workforce housing categories. But there is a process for us to be able to move forward on that. And certainly local inclusionary housing ordinances is how most communities are able to have developers set aside housing units, housing stock, to make sure that they're meeting the needs for those other categories of residents or categories of housing that is needed for our most vulnerable. But we're in a crisis here, and we've had in Monterey County, we've seen a few small projects move forward, but the largest, that we know are in the pipeline are certainly the projects in the east side of, not the east, but it's the northern east part of Salinas near Lowe's. And certainly we've had numerous presentations about the annexations in Gonzales and Soledad, but we needed the housing. We need it in large numbers yesterday, and we know that the challenges of constructing new housing in California is the permitting process. It's the environmental review, and unfortunately, it just takes a really long time. And the legislature has worked to try to expedite the permitting and environmental review process for certain types of projects. But nonetheless, we still haven't built enough. Even the governor's goals to build, I think, 1 or 2 million units of housing, we haven't even scratched the surface towards that goal. And he made that declaration 3 or 4 years ago. So we're really behind. And this housing crisis is tied with the homelessness crisis. And we really have to, we're empowered, at least as LAFCO members, to really look at projects and trying to speed up the process and get the housing constructed in our local communities. But the Salinas Valley is sure to be the leaders in constructing the most significant amount of housing along the 101 corridor. I agree, we need to also make sure we're addressing the needs for our lower income, but the housing is so great in California that we need all types of housing in our community to meet the needs of working families for sure. And also our more middle class families and professionals. We're talking about our firefighters, our teachers, our police officers, and many of them are not even able to remain employed here because the housing is so expensive, and it's almost impossible to buy a house even at the market rate level. So I want to urge our staff to bring these projects to us as soon as they're ready, because I do know that the governor is putting more pressure to have local governments meet their RHNA housing needs, and is even having an enforcement unit that was included in this year's budget to be able to look at legal options for local governments that are not making significant steps towards their RHNA housing goals. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Mayor Velasquez, did you still have your hand up, or is that new?
I did. Just my last and final comment. I know obviously we all understand why we're here as part of LAFCO commissioners and what we need to do in terms of furthering some of those housing and some of those other land use requirements that are part of our obligation. I just, again, I grew up in Soledad. Obviously for our South County cities, we're the ones that are constructing housing, but I also know that it's really important to be able to pause and look at some of those concerns that the staff had. How do we address it? Obviously, yes, we need to make sure that we're addressing that, but I also want to make sure that we're not addressing and forgoing something at the detriment of the long-term housing that's needed for our community. And I've seen a lot of what the gentrification is happening in other areas, and I never thought that it would come to our cities. But as I said, I'm a mother. I have my children that I'm raising in the city of Soledad, and I've talked to numerous of our families, and many of them have to leave Soledad because they can't afford what we're building. So as we're looking at building single family homes, we also have to look at different housing types and at all income levels, because that is really important as our communities grow. So I'm just saying, I want to make sure that we're understanding some of those critical issues that were included in the staff report, and how do we work towards them, but how do we ensure that we're finding a resolution that is amicable and that serves the housing needs of our residents and our demographics. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Lopez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, and I think one of the things I need clarity on in this process as we move forward from staff is, the question of the type of housing, as I understand it, is typically up to the cities. And so does LAFCO dictate from up on high what cities do? I believe in local authority. I believe in our city councils. I believe in what they do and the projects that they put forward on behalf of their citizens. So on that end, I want to make sure that as that process comes forward, we have that clear direction, even though that's not what we're voting on today. It was just a presentation and informational, but again, leaving local government as local as possible. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Anna, is your hand up again?
Sorry, Chair, I forgot to put it down. No, thank you. And I understand, just my final comment, this is it. I understand local control, and I think local control is important, but what we're dealing here with is with zoning and making sure that we do have the resources, that our communities do have the resources as we're building out our communities, that we do have those resources to be able to offer to our residents as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak on this issue or any other issue in Kate's report? I'll just say I'm hopeful that the proposals that are coming in from some of the other cities, now that Seaside has gotten a vote to move forward, I really hope that the cities will do what they have to do to get these in on a timely manner so that they're not on the report for months and months and months. And I know it's frustrating for the public. And somehow every time I read, it's like LAFCO took so long. But in reality, LAFCO hasn't really, the commissioners have not seen these. And I think that's really important. So I'm really grateful for our staff for continuing to work with the municipalities and with the staff that's involved, but I do believe that it's incumbent upon the staff, the developers, and anyone else who's working on this, that they move them forward, because the people without houses don't care what we all do. They just know that they need a place to live. And I think that's really what's important. So, and on the other hand, it's up to us to make sure that the right things go in the right places. And I get that. So that's, I think, our charge. So thank you all very much. Kate, thank you for a good report.
Thank you.
And with that, we will go into closed session. And is there any member of the public who would like to address the item that we are going into closed session on, which is we are going to confer with our legal counsel regarding existing litigation with the Monterey Peninsula Water Management District versus the Local Formation Commission of Monterey County. Anyone from the public wanting to speak to this item before we go into closed session?
Chair LaFoy, I don't see any hands raised.
All right. So to all of you who joined us, thank you. And we'll go into closed session. If you want to hang out, we'll be back. Okay, I think that we are all back out of closed session. And Ms. Donlin, would you please report out?
Yes, Chair Leffel, no reportable items from today's closed session.
Thank you. So we need another roll call.
Do we need another row? It never hurts. Do it quickly and then I think we're done.
Safarina, please.
Thank you. Commissioner Alejo?
Here.
Commissioner Askew?
Here.
Commissioner Craig?
Here.
Commissioner Kong?
Here.
Commissioner Lopez?
Here.
Commissioner Oglesby?
Here.
Commissioner Poitras?
Here.
Commissioner Snodgrass?
Here.
Commissioner Velasquez?
Here.
Vice Chair Gorley?
Here.
And Chair Leffel.
Here, thank you so much. Do we have any commissioner comments on any other items?
Just a big happy birthday to Mayor Craig and a happy anniversary to Mary Ann Michael.
And congratulations to you.
Thank
Chairman,
you.
Or Mr. Gorley, appreciate it.
Good things happening. Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
Okay, with that, accept an adjournment for the next meeting.
So
I'll
moved.
move. See you.
Second.
Thank you. See you all. September, we'll probably have a meeting because we're going to have some of these housekeeping items. So we'll take care of them, even if it's a short meeting.
Thank you all.
All right.
Thank you.